Alright, hello and welcome back to another deck profile, and this time we're taking a look at something we haven't looked at in a while. I'll put a card up on screen to the last time we looked at this deck, but today it's kind of like a redux of it. We're taking another look at Lord of the Red. Now, why are we taking another look at Lord of the Red? Well, I was bored, basically, and I was looking through my list of old decks. And this is one I actually built in real life too, so I like it even more, but I was looking through a list of old decks. And again, I'm just trying to do, different things, trying to change things up a little bit from what I've been doing. And this is something pretty different from a lot of other things that you'll see out there. Plus it's rituals, which is immediately making it pretty damn cool. So if you're looking for something different, this is certainly something different, although obviously it's going to be casual because it's Lord of the Red. Let's just go over why he's quick. Jesus. 2 plus 2, that's 4 minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths. No, let's go over why he is bad real quick. Now, his effect is pretty decent. Once per turn during either player's turn, he can chain to anything except himself, to once pop a monster, and to once pop a spell or trap. So you can do each of those once per turn. So it's actually pretty decent. However, he's an 8, whereas everything else Red Eyes is a 7. He's a fire, whereas most everything else Red Eyes is a dark, and the ritual spell can banish Red Eyes monsters from the grave to summon him. Except he's an 8, so you have to banish 2 Red Eyes monsters, whereas shit like Chaos Max can just banish 1. So yeah, Lord of the Red clearly got the short end of the stick. Also, it's still just 2400 attack, which means it's not very hard to get over. But anyway, he's still a very fun card to use. So we just went over him. Now let's get into the rest of the deck. We have 3 Manju for consistency, obviously. For targets for advanced ritual art and for Allure of Darkness and Trade-In. Just for a lot of draw cards, basically. We have 1 copy of Blue Eyes, 3 copies of Tri-Horn Dragon, and 2 copies of Dragon Core Hexer. Now, usually I'd run 3 and 3 Dragon Core Hexer and Tri-Horn Dragon just because they're, again, targets for Trade-In and for Allure. But I changed to 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon because of the baby Chaos Dragons here. Now, if you don't know, White Dragon, Wyver Buster, and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, they each special themselves by banishing one of a card of the opposite attribute from grave, and whenever they're sent to the grave, they search the other one, and that's all once per turn. So basically, you can use these guys for some pretty cool link plays. So we run 1 copy of Blue Eyes to send off of Advanced Ritual Art in case we open the Black Dragon, and again, we have a whole bunch of dark targets to send if we open the White Dragon. So those work out pretty well there. I've actually really been liking those guys, and taking it in a slightly more chaos way has actually made it pretty fun too. Side note, Hexer is actually a tuner, so you could use her to go into Zolkin. I used to do that in the old build, but again, with Master Rule 4, Zolkin's a little bit dead. So she's just a level 8 dragon target, and she does have 3000 defense, which is relevant. But moving on from there, obviously we have the 2 BLS. Oh god, it feels good to drop this card in Steel games. This card isn't super busted like I had some games against Cosmo and stuff where this card just couldn't do enough because of non-targeting, things like that. But holy fuck, it still can steal some games because you can just top deck it and put, like 6,000 almost on board, which is fucking insane. Obviously the 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkest Metal, you can just tribute for this, bring back something you tributed for it, banish something, bring back something that's already in grave. That works well with the babies, because if you have like some Lord of the Reds in grave, you can just summon one of those, banish it for Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and then bring Lord of the Red back, and things like that. We run 2 copies of the actual ritual spell for Lord of the Red, although we really just run those so we can search it off of pre-prep, essentially. Although we are going to be opening a lot of level 8s, just because, if you look, we have mostly level 8s in this deck. So we actually do resolve it a lot, but it's mostly just in there to search him off of pre-prep, because we'd rather be using Advanced Ritual Art, because it's using up less cards in hand and deck thinning at the same time. Because obviously we really don't want to draw into the normals. But again, if we do, we already talked about pre-prep, but if we do draw into them, we have Allure and Trade-In as ways to get them out of our hand and to set up our grave for return of the Dragon Lords over here. And for that last little bit of consistency, we have Upstart and 3 Desires, which the 3 Desires really helps it from what the last build was. That's one of the main things that's really helping it, is those extra 2 cards, especially in a ritual deck that can actually run it, just really, really help out. But anyway, moving on to the X deck, we have 2 rank 4 targets because we do have Manju and the Baby Dragons. So we have Castel and Tornado Dragon, just 2 of the best right there. For some rank 8s, we have number 68, just for anything that, uses the grave, basically. All save for a non-destruction out. Felgrand, just because I fucking love Felgrand. And one Hope Harbinger, because spell negation and his other effects are all very damn strong. For links, we have one Link Spider, which is essentially just in there if we want to, put an extra 1,000 on board, if we have like Return in hand or something. Or we could use it as the top spot to actually go ahead and use Tri-Gate Wizard here. 2 copies of Proxy Dragon, just because, again, it's something we could put onto the side of Tri-Gate Wizard. But there's also a play where if you open Manju and a way to Ritual Summon, obviously, and one of the little baby dragons, you go ahead and set up your grave for whichever baby dragon you have. You summon that, you link with the baby dragon and the Manju into a Proxy Dragon, which searches the other baby dragon. You can go ahead and banish the one that's already engraved to summon that one and go into Decode Talker, so you have Targeting Negation and Lord of the Red on the field, which is pretty cool, all things considered. Tri-Gate, which we already went over, Decode Talker, which I basically just explained the play for. Ningirsu, again, we can make him because of Link Spider and Proxy Dragon, and he's obviously non-target send to grave, which is insane. Guy, just because you can dump 3 monsters into him, and Firewall and Borreload, just because they're, the Link 4s that I always like to run, and Borreload just steals fucking games. We'll see a very good one with Borreload here. But anyway, let's go ahead and actually get into it here. Alright, so we're only going to be showing 2 this time because this one's actually a pretty long game, or at least for Yu-Gi-Oh! Standards. It is pretty interesting, all things considered. Obviously, it's not a meta matchup. We're against, Destiny heroes up here. There's some Pen Magicians in there. Obviously, it's nothing, spectacular, but neither is this deck at the bottom. I've tried to make it as good as I can, but some decks just are never going to get over that hump. That's just something we all know and realize. I mean, it just happens. Yu-Gi-Oh! Just has that imbalance like that. But again, I've tried to make it as good as possible, so we'll go ahead and roll it here. Also, ignore the 13-card extra deck. I just kept forgetting to put more monsters in. I know that's wrong, but every game I'd go in and go, I forgot to put more monsters in. And I'd get too wrapped up in dueling and just go ahead and jump into another one again. So just ignore that. But anyway, I'll stop talking and roll this one here. So he's, oh, thank you, frame rate. The second I start, yes. Anyway, now that that's solved, it only took like fucking forever. So he'll go ahead and he's going to make the most interesting rank 6 play I've ever seen in my life here. So he basically just dumps 2 cards into a Dragulus, which, I mean, it's not terrible. And, again, we're like both playing bad decks here. And that's actually going to be a problem because I'm going to have to out it twice, and Lord of the Red needs to respond to something. But yeah, it's just funny that he, did all that just to end on Dragulus. So go ahead and pre-prepare, and we can actually make double Lord of the Red here, but we can't actually respond to the Dragulus twice to be able to out it. So I'm just going to go ahead and sit on 1 here and keep 1 for next turn. Then he's going to go ahead and try to flip itself face down, and if it flips back face up, he can send 1 card to grave. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it with Lord of the Red so that it can't flip back face up this turn, because it'll special itself by its own effect. Therefore, because it was summoned that way, he can't change the battle position. So he's going to go ahead and make, I think, is he going to make Omega here? I honestly can't remember. No, he's going to make Dark End Dragon, that's right. Oh, I actually fucking love that card. He'll actually put the Malies back so he can resolve those again. And he's going to start doing fucking Magician stuff here, which will come into play later. He's like, I honestly don't know what he's doing. Like, it's honestly like, you don't need to use fucking Dark Rebellion to get over a Manju. You could have made a better Link than that, but, whatever. We're just going to go ahead. We're going to out the Dragulus because, again, we don't want that flipping up. We'll go ahead and swing over the Underclock Talker there, and we'll go ahead and say back the Dark Rebellion. So there we go. We're leaving him with, just 1 card to work with. But he'll actually go ahead, well, he has the Malice, but it really doesn't matter. He'll Allure, obviously Black Fang. Black Fang will, oh, frame rate, yes! So he'll go ahead and Black Fang bring back the double Iris Magician there, and then go ahead and Purple Poison to get over our also there. But we top deck Return of the Dragon Lord, so we can go ahead and keep going off from there, and he wasted both of his scales and all his resources to actually be able to do that, although he does have a strike set still. Now he'll go ahead and make the Isolde play. He'll strike us, but we'll just banish Return to save it. And honestly, like, I think he's just making plays just to make them, really. Like, he's putting up some defense, but, it's not actually doing anything. He could have just saved resources until he could do something, So we'll actually respond to Upstart there. The only, like, the real way to do things. Respond to your own Upstart. he'll go ahead. Now here, I'm actually going to hit the Vision Hero Vion, because that will be able to search a Poly if it stays up on the field, and send Shadow Mist to give him 3 hero cards total. Now the reason I popped that is because I actually don't know what any of the Destiny Hero fusions do, so I wasn't sure if he could Poly into one that would actually stop us. So just in case, we'll go ahead and pop that there, and that actually was correct. And now we get the Pot of Neg9 into BLS, and we can go ahead and swing for game there in a relatively long duel, all things considered, for 2017 Yu-Gi-Oh! But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the next one here. Alright, now we're up against Blue Eyes, and as you can see, it's the Chaos Max variant, the most skillful card in the entire game, but I digress. So we'll go ahead, we have 3 Desires, which is fucking trash, but we can still make Lord of the Red, and set 2 Bluffs, so we'll go ahead and do that anyway, and the Bluffs pay off, because instead of Cards of Continents, he'll go ahead and hit our Desires, and our Bluff Ritual spell there, and we still have another one to resolve, just like my frame rate doesn't want to resolve. So we'll go ahead and Desires. Again, obviously it doesn't matter if you banish 10 cards if you win the game, so banishing 20, you know, same thing. So go ahead and Lord, do some return shenanigans there. Since we have another one in hand, might as well put damage on board in Protection Engrave. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we have 3 monsters on field, and he'll finally be able to resolve that skillful Chaos Max there. So we'll banish return because I want to keep as many monsters on the field as possible. We pop Sage just because really there's no point not to at that point, since we can't hit the Chaos Max. So Future Fusion, because people don't read Lord of the Red. That's another great thing about it. No one reads it. So we want to keep as many monsters on the field as possible, because the easiest way to out that is going to be, actually the only way we had to out that was Borreload. So we'll actually go ahead and make the Borreload Dragon there and take his Chaos Max. And then we'll do the usual like Borreload shenanigans so that they can't respond, so we'll target for attack, this and that. Go ahead, steal the Chaos Max, pop the other Blue Eyes, and end him with his own skillful Chaos Max. But anyway, that will do it for our look at Lord of the Red here. Again, this is definitely better than the last time. Lynx and the baby Chaos Dragons do help out, being able to play BLS and things like that. It's very fun indeed. This is a super fun deck to play. Again, it's pretty casual, but it's like one of those kings of casual where, you know, Lord of the Red, sometimes those 2 pops a turn is enough to just shit on some other decks, and can even sometimes actually hurt some decks that are better than it if you set up well. But anyway, I'll stop rambling, go ahead and do my usual plugs at the end of the episode. Links to my Discord down in the description, cool place to chill, hang out, talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, among other things. I say this every time, and I don't know why I do. A link to my Patreon as well. It'd be, you know, if you can support me there, that'd be amazing, but there's no pressure, no usual content or anything will be gated off. It's just, if you like what I do and want to support me there, you can. You'll get some extra jewels that don't make it into videos like this, but again, none of the usual stuff will ever be gated off, so there's no pressure to support. But if you have a little extra to give, it would be greatly appreciated. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Now, why are we taking a look at Lord of the Red? That was the worst way I've ever said anything ever.